Hi, friends. So, I don't even know if I'm actually going to end up posting this video because I'm going to get into some deep stuff, but I feel like it's time for a story time and a story time about how manifestation is actually coming into my life and just kind of letting things be easy and how easy it's been lately to a really crazy effect in my life. I'm making some major changes. So, where do I want to start this story? This could be really long. I probably will break it up over a few videos, but it's like all the pieces of my life are starting to fall together, despite the fact that I literally hit rock bottom last week, this week. It's been a journey. Let's get into it.
I'm in, I'm out, same story.
Okay, so here's my puppy. Hey, folks, come say hi. This is Coco. We just went on a walk, so we're a little hot. Yeah. And she's like, put me down, Mom. Like I said, I don't even know where to begin this story. If you know me, you know I've been obsessed with New York since my first trip there in 2013. I had never been before. I was already married. I went with my in-laws and my husband, and I fell completely in love. And I've had a love affair with New York ever since then. However, my husband never wanted to move there. The city wasn't his thing. And so we stayed. And I also not going to talk much about my family in this. He's a really great guy. But I had been seeing these two paths of my life very clearly. And now we've been married almost 10 years, and I can see that path continuing. I can envision what our life looks like as it continues, but I also had this equally, if not more clear vision of myself living alone in New York and all that went with that. I mean, we could talk about my manifestations for days on that. And so I've been just visualizing these and not even consciously, like for a long time, I didn't know that even the term manifestation, it was just, I was seeing this. And so then about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, I started doing more regular scripting style journaling. So if you don't know what scripting is, it is where you write out your, I guess, dream life in present tense. So like you already have the thing you're trying to manifest, whether that's money or a location or a soulmate or whatever. And I kept writing about this apartment on the Upper West Side of New York. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I wrote it in very, very detailed ways of saying that this is going to be this apartment. I thought it was going to be my apartment. But this last trip that I took to New York, I walked into my Airbnb and it was that apartment. It was crazy. As I walked around, I was like, this is my pretty much dream apartment, other than the bathroom, but totally functional. Yeah, I can't even go into all the details of like how perfect that arrangement was. But I also had the clarity on this trip, not while I was in the apartment, but with something else, that I had been struggling with the decision for over 2 years, just waiting for clarity, not knowing how I was going to get that because it was a really hard decision, and the decision was that I needed to get a divorce. And so I came to that clarity while I was in New York this trip. And although there's a lot ahead, I felt really at peace with that. And right after I made that decision, so many things in my life just started to click into place. it was so crazy. I've been really struggling in my business despite it looking really successful and having fantastic employees and clients and all of that stuff. Like, we're still not making enough money to survive right now and all that stuff. And so, gosh, I feel like there's so much. There's so much that just started clicking. As I was telling my friends the things that happened and the decision I was making, they were all saying, it looks like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. Like, you look so happy. You look so at peace. Never seen you this happy. You know, like, comments like that. And I was like, man, yeah, I feel like I'm just kind of radiating this happiness out of me, despite the fact, and again, I'm not going to go into all the details of this, but then having to come home and tell my husband I wanted a divorce and tell our families, and anticipating that I was literally blowing up my life. I anticipated him really hating me, even though he kind of had an inkling that it was going to happen. I wasn't sure how he was going to officially take it, if I was even going to have the guts to ever do it. I assumed my parents were going to disown me, and it took a lot of talking, but they're not disowning me. They said they'd support me emotionally, but not financially. So that's already way bigger than I anticipated. And friends have really been stepping up. And so far, things are also going really smoothly. So again, fast forward, it's going very amicably. Here's Lucy. Obviously, I'm still living in the house right now as I'm packing up, but I am going to be moving to New York City. And so to do that, I also need to get a job to pay the bills and hopefully give me health insurance. Really, Lucy? Right now? If you have dogs, you know. So I have really advanced credentials in my field. I have the top credentials for an eating disorder practitioner. So sorry, that's just. So I started, putting my feelers out there for jobs, knowing that I would need something. I'm not tied to it needing to be in my field per se, because I am going to keep my practice going. But it was interesting that the first place I thought of was a treatment center that I had visited. And so I just kind of threw it out to my network, like, does anyone have the contact info for them? Here's my resume, looking for a job, if anyone has any leads on anything. But I'm particularly looking at this place. And so I sent that, like, didn't even look at their website to see if they had any job postings. I'm just like, if anyone has an opening somewhere, someone will know about it. I have a pretty extensive network, so I was just kind of hoping on word of mouth that people would tell me about jobs opening up. So that made it to that company. Meanwhile, I started applying to some other jobs. And the first one that I heard back from was a different treatment center, and it wasn't one that I was particularly excited about, but I'm like, I just need something that I know I can do. And what their top pay was laughable. Like, for my years of experience and everything, like, it was just not okay. And they're like, yeah, that's what we offer. We're not going above that. Okay. If you're still interested. I'm like, no, like, I know I can do, I know I'm worth more than that. Like, I feel like I've definitely grown in my confidence this year. I know my worth now. Even though I haven't worked at a treatment center before, but I'm like, I know this isn't right. So then I heard back from the treatment center that I wanted to apply to, and I hadn't looked at their website or anything, and they're like, oh, great, can you interview on Wednesday, which was this morning? And I said, absolutely. And so then yesterday I was looking at their website, and they actually did have a dietitian position open. I'm like, oh, that worked out. I didn't even know. Didn't really have a lot of information about it. Again, I kind of know the company, so I have a general vibe for them. I really like the owner founder person, but I was like, not gonna, like, I could interview. What's the worst gonna happen? Like, I look for another job. So I applied for some other jobs I haven't heard back about yet, but I had that interview this morning and it went so well. And the person, Lucy, the person who interviewed me was like, we saw your resume and we are so excited about you. Like, we have to follow procedure and do this interview, but I already wanted to move you forward to the next round of interviews. We think you'd be a perfect fit here. I have more experience and credentials than any of their dietitians on staff right now. So I know they were already excited about that. And also because of that, they said, so what are your salary expectations? Because typically we offer, and they give me a range, but knowing that you have your CEDRD, we assume you're going to ask for more than that. And so I'm like, oh, well, yes, yes, I am. So I threw out a slightly higher number and then asked about like benefits and relocation and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. We'll move you to the next round of interviews and we'll chat. And like, it was so easy. And so I've got my second interview set up. But like, this is a job that might actually pay what I think it should pay, or at least closer to that. I mean, I think dietitians are worth a lot more, but society hasn't really caught up yet. But it's definitely one of the higher pays that I've heard of in the field. And so I'm going to use that as like my benchmark now as I interview for these other jobs. Like, that is going to be like the baseline. Like, if they can't offer at least that much, it's a no, because I know I'm worth it. And the other like piece of this, and like part of hitting rock bottom with all of this too, is I was just on a trip in New York, and that had a lot of expenses that went on my credit card. And then I was joining a counseling group that was kind of expensive and going on my credit card, and having surgery, and like all this stuff came up. And so when I just paid off my credit card the other day, I have about $900 left to my name. It's scary. I have always had a cushion, like in college, like, and not to like be braggy, but like this, I always had like $20,000 in my savings account until we bought our first house, and I used a good chunk of that for a down payment. But like, I've always maintained several $1,000s in a savings account, and I always paid off my credit card in full. Like, I have excellent credit score. So I'm, terrified because all of a sudden I have no cushion. I have more bills coming in. I'm getting a divorce. I'm moving across country to like the most expensive place to live and have basically nothing. And I don't want to have credit card debt. But at the same time, like, things are coming together. Like, if this job comes through, assuming I do want it and everything, like, they want someone to start ASAP. So like, I could start earning pretty soon. I'm assuming in the settlement I will get some money. I'm going to be eventually selling my car. I'm selling some of my instruments, like my violin. So I know that there is money coming, and so I'm also not nervous about it because I know I'm going to be okay, even though no one's supporting me now. Obviously, I'm still living in our house and, all of that kind of stuff while we figure this out, which I'm super grateful that he hasn't kicked me out or anything, and that we're, living well together. But I am truly on my own now, and I know money is coming, and I feel secure, and I feel like I'm on the right path for the first time in a really long time. I'm excited about the future. I don't know where I'm living yet. I have friends. And I know it's all going to come together as it's supposed to. And I've literally been just experiencing the roller coaster of emotions. I have been sad and scared and terrified and elated and happy and excited about the future and everything. Like, I can't even share everything like wonderful that's happening. It's just things are going really smoothly. And And I know it's not all going to be smooth. Like, there's still some scary stuff to get through. Like, I hate the fact that I am going to be a divorcee. Like, no, I don't think anyone goes into marriage wanting to get a divorce or to have that happen and all the things that come with that. Like, I'm not going to get into a lot of details on this because I don't want a lot of my life shared publicly as much as I am trying to do this vlogging thing. It's not like my life, our life is not public. I don't want it to be. So I'm not going to go into all those details, but I do want to share this story because this is the kind of stuff I was looking for with YouTubers. When I was contemplating all of this, like, I've been watching Mikkel Jansi, who has just been going through a divorce and moving out on her own. And it's a very different circumstance than mine, and she has a lot of family support. But watching her videos and hearing the process and seeing that her life is going really well and that things worked out was really inspiring to me. And I haven't really seen anyone else like that. I watch, all the vloggers that are moving, by themselves or moving to New York, and it's like all of these 20-something single women. I'm like, well, this whole time it's been like, okay, I'm going to be either moving with a family or moving when I'm older, not just out of college, not bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like I just came out of school and I'm going to take on the world, like I'm a little older, I'm a little jaded. I have a lot of experience and I have a business, and I didn't really want to work for someone else, but I also know I need that right now, and I'm kind of excited about it. Like, I'm looking forward to the idea that I could go into the office and have coworkers and have a place to go during the day. And particularly if I'm going to be in a little studio apartment or something, the idea of getting out during the day to go somewhere and have somewhere to be, have people to be around, I think that'll be really nice. So I'm actually looking forward to it. And now I feel like I'll have more freedom to do that. I feel much more free already, even though I'm still here and everything. So I don't know. I guess the message of this is really don't give up on your dreams and focus on what you want, because what you focus on is what you're going to manifest. So do the visualization, do the scripting, don't give up faith. I also believe in God. I'm a Jew. I believe that God's watching out for me as well. So that's all been really helpful in this. Yeah, so that's my story time. I'm sure more to come. I would like to do some moving vlogs. I don't know if I will, just because of like the circumstances and all of that. So I don't know. Stay tuned. But I'm moving to New York and I'm really excited and get to come along for the ride. So thanks for being here. I would love to hear if you've gone through something similar. Go ahead and put that in the comments. If you're going through something similar, maybe we can support each other. But no hate. Like, I still love all of my family. I have no ill will towards anyone. And likewise, like, we're being really supportive of each other. So I know this is right for me, for us. And so I don't need comments saying otherwise. Like, this is my business, you do your business. But things are looking up and only up from here. All right. Thanks. Hit that like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.
Think I know